Ho, 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 and a couple of tra-la-las. I like that tune. Yes, I'd like a couple of tra-la-las with that, please. Yes, just on the side. Yeah, a side order of tra-la-las. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave J. from New York City. Songwriter, performer, storyteller, characters for kids and adults. Hey, so I'm on my way to work, to my gig at the old assisted living facility across town. So I've got this time to walk and talk and blather and digress with you, my friends. It is Super Sunday, and it is a Super Sunday. Not only the Super Bowl later today, which once again my beleaguered New York Jets are not a part of. Just being a Jets fan, I could spend about a week talking to you about that. But those who are Jets fans know, or if you're a Browns fan, you probably know too. Okay, I don't know why I'm laughing at the Browns fan. I'm a Jets fan. You Browns fans deal with your stuff. I'll be dealing with anyway. So it is a Super Sunday because it's dawning on me that wow, I grew up at such a great time in place in history, and it's miraculous, really. And when I was growing up, you know, there were older people who made an impression on me, like the importance of radio and where that played its role in American history or world history, but particularly American history. I'm a big fan of American history. I'm a big fan of being an American. USA. Okay, it's a great country. I think the best, you know, but maybe I'm biased because I'm an American. Yeah, I have the pride. Okay, so where were we? Yes, well, the miracles. So when I grew up, there was no internet. In fact, there were no mobile phones with cameras that I could send all around the world in moments. So I can do that now. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. When I grew up, if you wanted to make a phone call, if you weren't home and dialing it, if you were lucky, you had the push button one, which a lot of us had, but we also had a rotary phone in our house. And I grew up in Livingston, New Jersey, and I gotta tell you, we had a lot of nines in the prefix. When you had the rotary phone, it's like 9. Keep another 9. Oh goodness. 9. Oh, you'd fall asleep waiting for the 9s, you know. Or the 0s, I think, too. Yeah, even worse, yeah. Fortunately, we had a 2 and a 4 in the prefix after that, and that was like a little reprieve. But, or if you want to make a phone call, and you're at the library or something. I love libraries. That's another thing I love. American libraries, I love them even more. No, I haven't been to the other libraries around the world. Maybe the Ugandan library is quite nice this time of year. Please, let me know in the comment section. If you've been to the Ugandan public library, they shush you there too, I bet. They just shush you in Ugandan, I presume. I blather and digress. So, all these miracles are not lost on me. I think it's wonderful that we came from the payphone. That's what I was about to say. You wanted to make a phone call from the library, like for your mom to pick you up or something. Well, actually, if you didn't have a dime, later a quarter, then you had to do it. You worked out a system to call collect, and the call was from Dave, pick me up at the library. Last name, first name Dave, last name pick me up at the library. So that was the system, and that's how it worked. But and then later on, MCI came out, and you had the MCI card. It was the early sort of, you enter this number, and it gets charged to MCI. I don't know how it worked. This is not about the history of telephones. This is about how far we've come in my lifetime, and it's part of the reason why I love vaudeville and the Borscht Belt comedy and music and everything from that great American songbook era, the kind of from the beginnings of the last century, the 20th century, into the mid to late 20th century when I came around. Little credit, thank you, Mom and Dad, for that. I appreciate you bringing me into this world for that. To then later on blather and digress for the people who enjoy blathering and they enjoy digression. So I'm assuming that look, maybe some of you, maybe some of you just tune in for the blather. You're like, oh, I can do without the digressing. His blathering is fine. I draw the line at digression. And other people are like, gosh, I just wish he wouldn't blather so much, but hey, you know what? I'm open to the discussion. Digress all you want, you know? But then some of you are like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. He blathers and he digresses. I like both. So, whatever your pleasure there. So, you know what I'm looking at is the flip side of the coin, because a lot of people take things for granted, and you know we're all guilty of that. Sometimes I do, and you know, like the internet is one, right? Louis C.K. does some great material about this. People's taking like the cell phone or flying for granted, like, oh, we're waiting on the tarmac, and it's like you're flying through the air. It's really funny. I met him back in 1990, 91. There were a bunch of comics, a couple of guys I went to college with, who would do comedy in the Boston Comedy Club on West 3rd Street. And there was a music club downstairs called the Sun Mountain Cafe. Later on, it became the Baguette Inn. And I had to make a hard decision whether to pursue my songwriting or continue with the comedy when I was graduating college in 1990. And I was like, well, I'm comfortable getting up on any stage. That's always been pretty much the case. So, but I really need to work on that songwriting. I've been working on the comedy for a while. And it was, so anyway, there was a music club downstairs and a staircase inside going straight up to the comedy club. So I would perform downstairs and then go up and hang out with my friends. And that's when Sarah Silverman was there. And she was an NYU student at the time. It was right in the neighborhood of NYU. And Louis C.K. was working out there. And then my friends Danny DeVito, well, now he's known as Danny Vermont. Not the short, fat one, the tall, skinny one, as I like to say. And who was like a big brother to me in comedy. And learned a lot from him. And we went to college together at Ithaca College. We did this sketch comedy show called The Nothing Special. And Dave Juska was another comic who was working out there, who also was on The Nothing Special and graduated right before I came in as a freshman to Ithaca College. Anyway, I digress. Me? Okay. What was I talking about before? Miracles. That's right. Miracles. So, we take things for granted, you know? And I like looking at the flip side of the coin because some people I've read, you know, oh, he's a Scorpio, of course. He looks at things under the surface. That's because he was born on November 1st. Oh, that's the people like to simplify things, you know? And I think that's the thing that sometimes it bothers me a little because we oversimplify. When I realize, or at least my opinion is, everything is much more complicated generally than people, you know, take for granted. So basically, people like this kind of really oversimplified because, quite frankly, I'm sure, you know, it makes sense socially. Like you have to kind of simplify. Maybe you can't. Nobody has time for this kind of blather and digression. So, in general, right? You know. So of course you simplify, but to classify things and get it out of the way so people understand what you're talking about, I get it. But anyway, my mind is working too fast. It's melting down. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I try not to take things for granted, and I try not to oversimplify things. That's why I don't like to discuss politics. Because it's so complicated, and people think, no, this is the case. Oh, okay. Okay, you summed it up. Thanks. What's the point? Sorry. Some of you now are like, hey, I do that. Screw you. All right. Now what have I done? I've opened a can of worms. You know, what's the big deal about opening a can of worms? They can't go very far. I mean, depending on how long you leave the can there. Okay. I'm gonna run across. We're all running. We're running. Okay. The runner just looked at me resentfully because I was just running for a few seconds, and she's a runner. Anyway, yeah, that's all. So everything's miraculous. I'm appreciating the communication today, how I can put this up, and whoever wants to enjoy it can enjoy it, and whoever doesn't, okay, no sweat. And I'm just going to keep trudging forward. I'm going to keep rolling forward, and I'm going to keep making my content, and hope to learn in the process how to be more effective doing so and reaching people and giving people value and creating a tribe, a community, as I've heard. Who was that? Seth Godin? Flip side of the coin. That's what I was talking about. You know a good example of the flip side of the coin? This hat on my head. See that? My wife got me that hat in Japan. She went to Japan and visited her family there. And, you know, I like the hat. I appreciate the present. I would have much preferred the robotic samurai so I could spar and everything, but she didn't get me that. But anyway, but she got me this nice hat, and I do appreciate it. It's nice and warm. The problem is, it's too tight. But the only way to not have it be tight is to wear it. But if I wear it, it's too tight. You see, the flip side of the coin keeps flipping, and so I decided, you know what? I'm going to take the positive flip side of the coin. I'm going to wear it, because it's a nice gift, but also it'll stretch out a little. It'll be more comfortable the next time, maybe. A little bit more each time, right? Okay, with all that in mind, I better go because, you know, I've been trying to consciously not make these too long, and I notice they're getting longer and longer, you know. So I don't even know how long this has been. It's got to be 20 minutes. I don't know. With all that in mind, I'm going to go and leave it at that. I'm going to try to make these things a little briefer. I meant to do that with this one, and well, too late. Take good care, everybody. Thank you for your kindness and support. Please smush like. I just smushed you. I didn't mean it. Did that hurt? You got a thing on your face from my glove. Okay. So, you know, reach out. Let me know in the comments anything about any of this nonsense. Any criticism. Or maybe something you don't agree with. Maybe something you do. Maybe something you'd like to see. Maybe your dreams and aspirations. And that's it. So have a great day, and I'm going to talk to you soon. Take off my gloves so I can push stop and send. Good day.